Okay, in this video, I'm going to be covering a palm in outside block. Now that sounds a little bit complicated, but here are the things that you need to know to understand that information. A palm in outside block goes from the inside of your body toward the outside of the body. So anytime that I say an outside block, I'm thinking of something that pushes to the outside. If I were to say an inside block, that would be something that's coming from the outside at your shoulder level or outside of that toward the inside of your body. Okay, now it's an outside block, so that means it's pushing to the outside, and it's a palm in outside block. So there are a couple of different ways that we can do an outside block. We can have the palm facing out, or we can have the palm facing in. So let me show you that from the side here. I can have my palm facing out, away from my body, like I'm waving at somebody, or I can have my palm facing in, like I'm trying to read a book or look in a mirror. Okay, so this is going to be a palm in outside block. For this particular block, we're going to go closed hand. It can be done open hand, but in order to protect everybody's fingers, I teach it with the fingers closed until you're a little more advanced. So when we do our palm in outside block, we're going to start in the exact same chamber that we use for our down block. So if you've already been through a cycle where you've learned a down block, you know that the chamber is here. We're across the body with our low hand, and across the body with our upper hand. We're trying to close the gap here and cover up our body with our arms. So if somebody's coming in and trying to hurt us, we're like, this is kind of that flinch, okay, that we do naturally. From that position, we're then going to draw about 3/4 of a circle with this hand, with the low hand. This hand is going to come up in front, across our center line, and move to the outside, almost like we're holding our thumb out for somebody to give us a ride, like a hitchhiker, okay? We're turning that thumb out, or we're pointing over to the side saying, hey, the bathrooms are that way, all right? Trying to guide somebody. So when I do this, I want to think about covering up here, okay? Covering up my body, coming across. As this comes up and across, my elbow doesn't go outside the line of my body. I want to keep my elbow close to me, all right? If I start to extend this out away from me, let me turn sideways so you can see that. If I start to extend this out away from me, I start to lose a lot of strength here, and it's not going to do very much good. Plus, it leaves my body unprotected. So when I do this block, I only want my elbow to come up high enough for this block to come knuckles level with my forehead here, okay, just above my eye line. If I go any higher than that, I start to expose a lot of things here, and it's hard for me to bring it back down to block. I also start to lose strength. The higher I get with my shoulder, the less strength that I have to push to the outside of my body. So I don't want to be here. I want to be here. I want to be looking. I always tell the little kids, you can make a duck and talk to yourself. If you can talk to yourself, that means you're in the right position, okay? This is where I want to be. Elbows still relatively close to the body. I'm not pushing out past my center line, all right? Out past my shoulder line. I'm pushing to the shoulder line. That's as far as I need to go. Anything that's coming straight at me, if I push it out just past my shoulder line there, it can't hit me in the face. It can't hit me anywhere, all right, because it's past my shoulder line. There's no other part of me past that. So you don't want to come way out here and expose your body to danger. You don't want to come way up here. If you're having to reach up that high, just duck a little bit, right? Okay? So instead, keep your elbow lower, engage those core muscles, engage the shoulder muscles as you pull to the outside. Okay, now when we do this, we also want to think about rotating the hand. That gives us a little bit more power and a little bit more muscular engagement. Here are the things that I'm looking for. Number 1, a great chamber for this block. Number 2, excellent fist position as it comes up. Number 3, the block must cross your center line. You can't do it out here. As it comes up, your other hand should pull to your hip. There are a lot of reasons for that, but you need to understand that that should pull to the hip. It takes a little bit of coordination, a little bit of practice. Try pulling to the hip a couple of times, and then coming out a couple of times, and then doing both at the same time. 4th thing I'm looking for is for you to hit with the radius, okay, the inside of your arm here. This is the radius. I think I have that correctly. You can double check me if not. But I want you to hit with the inside part of your arm and push to the outside. If we hit with the back of the arm, this is easy for somebody to fold down. For some reason, when we turn our hand out, it makes it much harder. I think it's because of the way that it engages our shoulder muscles and our core muscles here. So pull it to the outside. Now, you may be asking the question, does it matter which leg is forward? It doesn't. We can use this from either our rear hand or our lead hand. Doesn't matter which one's forward. In fact, I will probably ask you to do both. That being said, you might also do this moving backwards or forwards. The last thing that I'm looking for is for you to maintain control with your core. Don't reach out for the block. Don't try to lift it up high. Elbow low, knuckles in line just above your eye line right here, okay? All right, there is your outside palm in outside block. Hope you guys train that. A great way to train it is to come up to a wall and just take your fist and try to give a thumbs up to that wall. Don't go with your thumb out because that hurts, okay? But you can just stand right next to a wall and just turn your hand out. If you feel yourself extending up, then what you're going to realize is you don't feel very strong here. You feel stronger with your elbow closer to your body. Boom. And you can turn, practice the other side. All right, guys, make sure you practice that at home. We'll see you in the next one.